All right. So unless you're an investor and you buy multiple properties or you purchase homes to flip, the home that you live in is not an investment, it's shelter. Now, you have to live somewhere. And unless you're a homeowner who has no mortgage or you're purchasing a property for cash, your holding cost includes your mortgage, your taxes, insurance, HOA fees. And that's how much money you're spending to live in that house every month. Now, the expectation is when it's time to sell, you're going to have equity in the house and you're going to get a return. Cool. Deduct all of those payments from the return and see how much your return really is. It's not as much as you think it is. Here's the other way of looking at this. If I didn't own a home that I was selling, let's say I rented a house for the last 2 years and I'm paying $3,000 a month for mortgage. That means I'm paying $36,000 a year for rent, $72,000 over the last 2 years, right? Shelter. Now I'm freaking out because I'm not getting the return on my home that I thought I was going to get. In other words, eventually you're going to start having conversations with sellers who are maybe losing money, and you have to help them look at things differently. Change the way you look at things, things you look at change. So a seller could be selling a home in which they have a $20,000 loss. And my response to that seller would be, did you really? Did you really have a $20,000 loss? Because you lived in that home for 2 years. It would have cost you $72,000 to rent it. And you're only losing $20,000 on the sale of your home. Didn't you really make $50,000? All right. Talk to me. What are your thoughts about that? Lucy wants to talk to us. Go ahead, Nadine. Put Lucy on the phone.
No, actually, I am renting now. I sold my house 2 years ago and I'm renting, so I can use that argument really well. I also learned that I can get buyers very easily if I simply, I mean, for me, I'm getting buyers from my building because they're paying ridiculous rents. And so every week I just share a property that they would be paying at least $300 less in rent. So if you're in Broward County, rents are ridiculously high, and that's a whole source of buyers for you where they don't have to be stressed about selling their house. That's all. That's my little piece out there to everyone to find buyers.
Yeah, Nadine, and I would turn that into a circle prospecting call, and that would be my message. If you knew that you could live in the same property you're currently living in for $300 less per month and build equity, would that be a conversation that you would want to have?
And to do that, one of the things you can do is pick 3 properties that you think are trendy or kind of, you know, what the people in your building would like or renters might be looking for, and literally have someone from Supreme do the numbers for you so you can show them exactly what the numbers are.
Good stuff, Nadine. I wasn't laughing at you, by the way. I was laughing at Lucy jumping in.
By the way, there was a parliamentarian in Britain that they showed on the news whose cat walked across the screen during one of the parliamentary meetings.
Welcome to the world of Zoom.
Hey, John, I have 3 things actually, and I should have mentioned it when you said, tell me something good.
Okay.
Well, first of all, the one thing, not only did I read it when I first got the book, but because I've had some time out here, I listened to the audiobook again, like I went through it again. It is the most inspiring book. I shared it with my kids, with everybody, because it doesn't apply only to real estate. It's amazing. But I also want to tell you that, Nadine, 2 things for you. I feel like it was like deja vu because I've had multiple conversations with people who are renting back home about purchasing and, you know, showing them the numbers, like when we would talk, like how they're paying $1,800 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment and they could probably own a 3-bedroom house paying that less in a mortgage. And then second thing for you, Nadine, is I ordered that journal for everybody in my family and have been telling them your story.
Good. Yeah, it's awesome. I've gotten a lot of replies about that journal. It's awesome. And just what I said to someone else that texted me about getting it was allow yourself to follow it. Allow yourself. Stop sabotaging yourself and use that book.
Oh
Great
yeah,
stuff.
amazing. Thank you.
Great stuff. Good job, Nadine. Okay, guys, let's get started. I'm in Millionaire Real Estate Agent, and I'm on page number 40. And we're going to jump because there's just a little bit on page 40, and then we're going to jump to page 97. So the first model that Gary shares in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent is the 3 L's. And the 3 L's in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent are leads, listings, leverage. Really important that you get it in that order. Leads, listings, leverage. Here's what he has to say. 3 core issues that support our model. Leads, listings, leverage. To succeed in real estate, you must have client leads. It's that simple. Until you have enough leads to meet or exceed your goals, there is no other issue. Now, I could stop right there. And for those of you who are productivity coaches or team leaders, or you have a team, you're a rainmaker, and you have somebody come to you with an issue, what I want you to do is ask them, well, it's just a suggestion. What I would recommend you do is ask them, do you have enough leads to support your business? No, you don't? Oh, until you do, we're not going to talk about anything else. It's that simple. Because Gary Keller said, until you have enough leads to meet or exceed your goals, there is no other issue. Matter of fact, if you want to just go to page number 41 and highlight that and just keep this on your desk. So when that agent comes in to talk to you and they've got a problem, just go, oh, wait a minute. Until you have enough leads to meet or exceed your goals, there is no other issue. How we doing? We good?
Good.
Cool. Get back to work. All right. No matter if you are a doctor, lawyer, or entrepreneur, everyone has 2 jobs, their chosen profession and lead generation. So as promised, I'm jumping to page number 97 at the bottom of the page, the 3 L's of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. 80% of our results will come from 20% of our actions. By the way, Angel, doing transaction to close is not in the 20%. And I love you, so don't take that the wrong way. Okay, top of page number 98. Most people believe that time and effort alone drive results. And while they may be true, the 80-20 rule teaches us that time and effort on the 20% that really matter will deliver 80% of the results we seek. So what is the 20%? Most of you know this. We've talked about this 100 times, so this is time number 101. Lead generation, face-to-face appointments. There. We don't want to do loser. We want to do peace. Negotiate contracts. Thank you, Nadine. Take seller listings. Okay. Negotiate. Did you say negotiate contracts? Number 2 is. Go ahead.
No, I said negotiate contracts, script and role play. And what are we missing? Okay,
cool. You did great. And let's get them in order. Number 1 is lead generation. Number 2 is face-to-face appointments. Lead generation leads to an appointment. An appointment leads to number 3, which is take seller listings. Taking seller listings leads to number 4, which is execute contract and block time to practice and role play your scripts. That's your 20%. Okay. And Nadine, you did great. All right, the truth is that when our actions are not focused on the 20% that matter, the results we want usually don't show up. How many hours in a day do you work? How much of that time is spent on the 20%? Do you know the answers to those questions? Because most people don't. And an exercise that you may want to do is just get a spiral notebook and journal everything you did that day. Everything. And that way you'll truly know how much time you're spending and where you're spending it. Okay, so I'm on page 99. I'm at the top of the page. Nothing is more important to your sales career than prospective buyers and sellers. To have a viable business, you must simply have the client leads. To have a business that pays you a lot of money, you will need a lot of leads. So let's talk lead generation. If I told you there was an out-of-town buyer who just got in this morning, who's going to be paying cash and needs to purchase a home by the end of the week, could any of you help them out? If I said, guys, I've got a buyer lead, they're going to buy a home, they're paying cash, and they're going to buy in the next 30 days. Just text me your information. Send me an email. How many of you are going to send me a text? How many of you are going to send me an email? Hopefully everybody on this call. Now, I can't see all of you, and there's 50 people on the call. Raise your hand if you bought a car or know somebody who bought a car in the last 12 months. Yeah, and without being able to see all 50, I bet you it's about half of you. Now, if I just simply called the phone book, meaning I'm calling everybody, and I said, I am a luxury sales expert for JM Lexus. I specialize in helping people find great deals on great automobiles. And just out of curiosity, who do you know that's looking to buy a car, in the next 12 months? I would get leads, wouldn't I? Yes, I would. I absolutely would. And nobody's doing that. I know nobody's doing it because nobody's calling me. Every single car I've ever bought, I told the person who sold it to me, stay in touch and I'll be back. Now, 58 years old, I've bought a lot of cars. How many of those sales people do you believe stayed in touch with me?
Zero.
Zero. All they had to do was call. All they had to do is call once every 3 months and say, John, how you doing? Just want to let you know I thought about you. How's your family? Things are crazy right now. You guys okay? Is there anything I could do for you? It's all they have to do once every 3 months. And not only would I go back, I would call them and say, hey, I know someone who's looking to buy a car. And I told them they've got to use you because you're simply amazing.
John, can I jump in a second? It's Alan.
Please do.
How are you, buddy? Good morning.
Good to see you.
Yeah, likewise. So this is the 80-20 rule, right? Because
Yes,
here's
sir.
what I know. Here's what I know. That just like in real estate, 80% of the agents do not call people back. 20% do. In the car business, 80% don't, 20% do. In every business. So there's two questions, really. Question number one is, John, is there a business that you know of that doesn't need customers to pay their bills? I mean, without customers that they can stay in business. Is there a business?
None.
And is there any way to get them other than the 3,000 different ways to lead generate?
Not that I know of.
No,
If there was,
there
we would be talking about it.
Yeah. So the question is, the real question is, I fortunately got to spend my Saturday afternoon with one of, not the 20%ers, but one of the 1%ers of the 20%ers. And this person on Saturday, by the way, his name is Corey Edwards, and I know he's on this call, he always is. He told me he put 11 contracts on the board that week. Not he probably his wife. You should be laughing now, Corey. Right. I didn't want to I'm just saying, John, that this is the crux of the matter. This is really the crux of the matter. It's not difficult to do. The question is, will you choose to do it? When Corey told me he put 11 deals on the board, I thought he meant this month. And then he, paused like – right? Bold. And then he said, this week. His phone, I spent 3 hours with him smoking a cigar. His phone did not stop blowing up with business. I'm not making this stuff up. So I'll throw it back to you, John, because you're way better at this than me. My point here is that there's two choices we get to make in our business. One is, do we choose to be in the 20% that earns 80% of the money, that gets 80% of the opportunities, or do we choose to be in the 80% that only gets 20%? And if you choose to be in the 80% that only gets 20%, you're not going to make a living. The second choice you have to make is, if you choose the 80% in this business, then what else are you going to do next? Because we already answered the question, where you don't have to lead generate. The answer is nowhere. Unless you want to go to work for somebody for $12.50 an hour, where you can make $400 or $500 an hour here.
Great stuff. Thank you, Alan. What an honor it is to have you on this call too, by the way. Thank you so much. I didn't know you were on the call. Thank you for jumping in. That's awesome. So let me go back to the question, guys. If I had a referral and I said, send me a text, send me an email, I've got a cash buyer that's going to buy in the next 3 days, all of you would send me a text message. All of you would send me an email. And the fact of the matter is, there is a cash buyer who's going to buy a home in the next 3 days. Matter of fact, there's several of them. You just have to go find them. Now, success is simple. It's not easy. We show you the roadmap. We tell you exactly what to do. Have 20 conversations a day. Hello? Have 20 conversations a day, starting with your sphere of influence and your past clients. These are care calls. If you guys are paying attention, they're talking about shutting down the state again. You better get really good at care calls, because your business cannot go down just because of COVID. That is a non-negotiable.
Yep.
You better get really good at these care calls. So 20 conversations a day, starting with your sphere of influence and your past clients. And every call, guys, it takes 10 seconds. If you're on the phone with them for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, if you're a high D like me, 3 minutes feels like a half hour. If you're a high S or a high I, 30 minutes is probably right for you. And it only takes 10 seconds at the end of the call to say, hey, Corey, before I let you go, just out of curiosity, who do you know that's looking to buy a home or sell a home? You know, actually right now, we're really looking for sellers. So who do you know that's looking to sell their home? 10 seconds on a 3-minute phone call. It's all it takes. Now, in addition to that, you can circle prospect every day. We've talked a lot about this the last couple of weeks. If you're not doing this, I don't understand why. All you got to do is find a property that was sold by your office. If you're part of the Waxman Group, all 3 offices sell over 100 homes a month. So there's 100 opportunities to circle prospect every single month. It doesn't have to be your property. Matter of fact, it doesn't even have to be a Keller Williams property. Or if you're on here as a guest and you're not with Keller Williams, it doesn't have to be our company. It could be a company, and you're just calling and saying, hey, the reason I'm calling today is because a home sold in your neighborhood, which is great news. Our challenge now is there are buyers who are looking for great homes like yours. And I was just curious, who do you know that might be thinking of selling their home? Now, I'm telling you guys, if you made 200 calls like that every day, you would be Corey Edwards. You would be. The only reason you're not is because you're not making the calls. Now, that may sound a little harsh, and please don't get angry with me, but remember, success is a choice. Unfortunately, so is failure. So you have 2 choices here. You're either going to choose to succeed or you're going to choose to fail. But remember, it's a choice. It's nobody's fault but yours. Then again, when you do it, you get all the credit. All right, take yourself off mute. Talk to me. What did you hear? What are you going to do different? Remember, the purpose of these calls is not entertainment, because I'm not that entertaining. Holy cow, you could get into Netflix and it's a lot more entertaining. What did you hear? What are you going to implement starting today? And to those productivity coaches that are on this call, remember our new deal. It is your job to take the information that I'm talking about back to your coaching clients, implement it today, and hold them accountable. Eddie? Talk to me.
Success is a choice,
Success is a choice.
and you have to be in the 20% if you want to succeed.
Yes. Thank you, Eddie.
John,
Yes, talk to me. I think that sounded like Alex.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say, again, what you're saying to me is that there's so many opportunities that I am letting slip by. Right now, I'm fortunate to have a lot of inventory. Circle prospecting, especially in some of these neighborhoods, like I mentioned, I have one neighborhood right now where in 5 days I've had 14 showings. I'm just finishing while I'm talking to you, writing out cards to people in the neighborhood and letting them know, hey, this market is on fire. Let me
Alex,
help.
can I make a suggestion?
Yes,
Can I make a suggestion?
please.
Find a real estate agent so they're licensed, so that you're able to pay them a bonus and pay them by the hour to circle prospect for you, and then give them 10% as a referral fee at closing. You don't have to make these calls. I know you're busy. Somebody else can make the calls for you. Hire somebody to circle prospect for you.
Good idea.
Yeah, I know it is. Go do
I-
it.
Yeah.
I have something.
Yes.
What I'm hearing and what I've been hearing is, John, pick up the phone. And that's where I have been falling down. So two things happened. Last week, I picked up the phone to call an out-of-state buyer who I put on an automatic matrix notification months ago, and never followed up with her. I called her like Thursday or Friday, and it turns out she's going to be in town Wednesday, and I'm showing her property Wednesday. She's here to buy more investment property. And then another one, there was an expired.
Wait a second. Let's stop with that one.
Okay,
If you didn't make the call,
I know.
was she going to call you and say, hey, Paige, by the way, I'm going to be in town?
No way. No,
No.
she didn't call me. She was only less than a week away from being here.
Wow. Now, this
Yeah.
is going to hurt just a little bit, so hold on tight. If you found that one, how many deals have you missed because you didn't make the call?
I know I've missed a few because I've seen on the BCPA that they've actually bought property, and I dropped the ball. I could have been that agent.
When you chose not to be.
Right. And then there's another one. There was an expired. He's been on the market 4 times now, failed 4 times. And over a year ago, I met him twice. I talked to him a little bit, and I dropped the ball. And when I dropped the ball, he relisted with another agent. And then that listing expired a few months ago. And a few weeks ago, I picked up the phone and I called him, and he's getting ready to go back on the market. And during my follow-up, I went from maybe I'll be one of the 3 he interviews to you'll definitely be one of the 3. So,
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. I'm going to tell you how to get the listing, okay?
yes.
He's already had enough BS that he's ready for the truth.
Yeah.
Show up and tell him the brutal truth, because there's a reason he's failed 4 times.
Mhm.
And remember the 3 reasons homes don't sell that should have sold: marketing,
Price, presentation,
presentation, and price. So it's one of those 3 or a combination. And be brutally honest. The person who's honest is the person who's going to get the sale. The person who shows up and tells them what he wants to hear again is not going to get the listing. Tell him the truth, even if it hurts.
So thank you for driving home this message that's taken way too long to sink in with me. Just pick up the phone. Just pick up the phone.
Hey, we're all the same.
Yeah.
We are. We're all the same. We are. And here, full transparency, guys. My calendar last week. Can everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Everything in green is an appointment for me that's equivalent to a listing appointment for you. Now, I had 12 appointments last week because I was on the phone. I was on the phone Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I filled up my calendar. Now, Alan's on this call, and I'm still going to share this with you. My calendar this week,
Look at Alan.
It's empty.
because I didn't work Saturday or Sunday. That's what you get. when you don't work, you're not going to get the results. It's the same for me. Now, here's what I know, guys. Because I'm accountable, I won't stop today until I've scheduled at least 5 appointments. And I
John,
won't stop
John, I'm gonna
tomorrow
jump-
until I
I'm gonna
schedule
jump-
5 appointments. Yes, sir.
I'm going to
Yes,
jump
sir.
in because they need to hear this from me. I'm not John's boss. I'm John's partner. And when you have a successful marriage for 30 years or a successful business relationship for 5 years, you get to know one another. And John's in the top 5% of the top 20% in the entire company in doing what he does. And the reason he is because he has an unwavering resolve to do whatever it takes to hit his goals. So I'm glad you took the weekend off. I'm glad you recharged.
Yes.
But here's what I know about John, that John knows he has people in his life that are counting on him, his children, his wife. And success is not a choice for him. Other people will say, well, I took the week off and I took the weekend off and so this week I'm not going to have a lot of appointments. Just admitting it, and I'm going to chalk it up and I'll move on till next week. Either of those two are a choice. And the guy who leads this call, the guy who leads you daily, is living proof of what he's telling you to do. He's doing it.
I appreciate that, Alan. Thank you. All right, guys, it is 9:03. Holy cow, it's time to get going. It's time to get on the phone. Remember, this is a community of support and growth. Together, we are accomplishing incredible things. This group is taking, this is the top 20%, by the way. This group is taking listings and writing contracts at a rate that is so much higher than the 80% who choose not to. I am so proud of you. Get on the phone, 20 contacts. If you have a standard for how many appointments you're going to schedule, don't stop until you've hit that number today. And if it takes 30 contacts or 40 contacts, then go have 30 or 40 contacts. Write 5 handwritten personal notes today. Go knock on 5 doors, leave door hangers, and follow up forever. Make it a great day.